Hey, in the previous video, I covered the layer list, what's available in the layer list, the information included in the point locations of all underground storage tank facilities and releases, and I also touched on the attribute table and how to use the attribute table. Here I'm going to go and discuss some of the tools and widgets that can be applied to the data found in USFinder. So let's again just zoom into any area in the country. And I can zoom in with my mouse again, or just these zoom in and zoom out tools here. And here, again, we're looking at the underground storage tank facilities. An important aspect of any kind of data analysis is filtering the data, getting the data that you want to see or analyze. So we provide a very easy tool for the user to be able to query this data, and it's called the filter button, the filter widget, right here. And we can click this widget, and we have a lot of filter options within this panel. This panel is divided into basically two sections. The blue section, which is related to the underground storage tank facility layer, and the red section related to the leaking underground storage tank layer. Because we are looking at the facility layer, we're going to only concern ourselves with the blue filters. So what do these filters do? Basically, we can say, I only want to look at underground storage tank facilities in Ohio. So I can go down here and click Ohio, and I can toggle that on. And then pretty much instantaneously, the data will query itself and only return facilities within Ohio. Right here. And when I go to the attribute table, it will only show facilities that meet that query function. So these are only going to be Ohio facilities within the attribute table. Now there's a lot of other filters. So here we've got, we'll keep the Ohio filter on. And we can say, well, I am only interested in underground storage tank facilities with active or open tanks. So I can go in here in the status, and I can say, well, show me only open facilities with open USTs. And again, I can click that, and USFinder will meet that query criteria. And this is compounding, so we're both seeing both just Ohio facilities and both facilities with open tanks. So I'll zoom into Columbus. And then we can look at some of these other filter options. For private domestic wells, we can say, well, show me facilities that have, a lot, let's say 25 private domestic wells within 1,500 feet. And I can query that. And you can see that most of the facilities within the city of Columbus are filtered out, probably on public water supplies. So the kind of the suburban area where there's more likely to be private wells are queried. So if there is a release from one of these underground storage tank facilities, we know that there are potentially private domestic wells that could be vulnerable. And I can deselect that by just toggling that button. We also include just kind of a binary, is the facility within a 100-year floodplain, or is the facility not within a 100-year floodplain? So I can just click this button, and this will return all facilities within FEMA's estimated 100-year floodplain. And we can see that there. There are also ways of querying source water protection areas. Our active facilities in Ohio, show me all the ones within a surface water protection area. And here we see some in Dayton, meaning that there's a public surface water intake nearby. And we can do the same thing for wellhead protection areas. And we can click the attribute table and we can see the queried results within this map frame. We see that there's 237 underground storage tanks that meet the three criteria. One, it's in Ohio. Two, the facility has active tanks. And three, it's within a wellhead protection area. And just like the facility layer, you can also query the releases layer. So we can turn on the releases, we can go to the filter button, and we can do the same type of thing. Show me releases that have at least 100 people living within 1,500 feet. And here we go. And you can see the result on the map. We can also look at reported dates. We can say, of all the releases within the map frame, show me releases that occurred since January 1st, 2010. And we can see the result in the map. So a really easy, quick way of just filtering data and really just getting to the information that the user is interested in. So I'm going to just unselect these. And let's move on to the next feature. This widget is called Near Me. It's basically kind of a what's in my backyard tool. Let's zoom into an area. And what this does is it allows the user to select a location on the map, and it will tell the user how many underground storage tanks and leaking underground storage tanks are within a fixed distance. So let's give it a shot. So let's turn on both the facility layer and the releases layer. So they are both active. And all I do is click a point on the map. Let's just say I live here. And I say, I want to know how many releases and underground storage tank facilities are within 1,200 feet. I press enter, and here are the results. We see 2 facilities and 2 releases, and they show up on the map. Here are the 2 facilities, and here are the 2 releases within 1,200 feet of that location. I can click this and get more information. This organizes the data by distance. This is the nearest leaking underground storage tank. That's 909 feet away. And I can get more information about that leaking underground storage tank, such as it is within a 100-year floodplain. This tool also provides us information on how many building structures are within a user-defined distance. Here at 1,200 feet, we see that there are 296 buildings near this location. So for example, if I just click this release, this leaking underground storage tank, and I'm concerned with petroleum vapor intrusion, I can just quickly assess from my desktop how many buildings are within a fixed distance. Let's say 500 feet from that leaking underground storage tank. And we see that, depending on the release, there could be, 41 buildings potentially at risk for petroleum vapor intrusion. So that is the Near Me tool. I can just click out of that and it will get rid of that radius. Another tool available is the info summary tool. This is just a really quick way of just basically counting the locations on the map. So we've got a map frame up, or this is the map extent, and we can click this, and it will quickly count how many underground storage tank facilities are within the map frame. So we see that there's 121 underground storage tank facilities nearby or within the frame. And it further kind of bifurcates the data by how many are open and how many are closed. And we can do the same thing for the release data. We can just toggle this on, and it will quickly count the number of releases within the map frame. And again, I can get more information on how many of those are open and how many of those are closed. And I can just exit out of that. Now let's go to the next tool, and it's called a area of interest report. And basically this allows a user to define an area either by drawing a shape on the map or by uploading a shapefile. And when your area of interest is defined, you can generate a report pretty much automatically on the number of tanks, the number of facilities, and the number of releases within that predefined area. So let me just do an example really quick. I'm going to select the polygon tool, and I'm going to say, my area of interest is, this area, just for example. I'm going to say generate a report of the tanks within this area. All I do is click the report button, and I'm going to go up here and select print. Select the print button again, and then automatically this report will generate. It's a PDF, or you can download it as a PDF, and it gives you just a quick summary that there's 99 facilities within that area, 164 releases, and it'll just generate a nice map showing with the legend of the facilities and releases, and then the attribute information about the layers. So this data is not just spatial, it is also temporal. And the temporal layer is just the release layer within UsFinder. So within every location, or most of the locations, we have a reported date. So this is the temporal data. Well, we can query this data temporally by using this time slider tool. I can click the time slider tool, and this little pop-up shows up and allows me to query the data temporally. So what I can do is I can say, show me all the releases that occurred between January 1st, 2015 to 2020. I can select slices of time, and that will be reflected within the map. Here, it's just a 6-year span, or I could do just a 1-year span. This is just showing all of the underground storage tank releases that occurred between 2002 and 2003. And that is reflected in the attribute table as well. And I will stop here, and in the next section, I will cover some more of these widgets.